My name is Yasmeen, I'm 20 years old, and I'm German, American, Arabic, and Turkish. I live in Spain since 11 years, and I absolutely love it.
I didn't realize you were only 20 actually, Yasmeen. I didn't realize you were actually a mixture of different races either.
Are you asking me this?
Yes, I'm just having a...
Oh yes, my mother's German, Turkish, and my dad's American, Arabic. I grew up in Boston, 7 years in America, and then we moved to Spain, then to Jordan, and then back to Spain. So I've traveled quite a lot, thanks to my mother, who's a flight attendant.
A flight attendant?
Yes.
Okay, so you have quite an unusual background, I think. Is that a fair comment, or?
That could be, but I've noticed that the more I've traveled, I've been surrounded by people who are like me or even more international. It just really depends where your parents are from, what they do as a job, and what kind of mindset they have, if they believe that traveling enriches or not.
Okay, the reason I wanted to interview you for this new project, the Happiness Project, because you seem like a beacon of happiness, and although I think everybody's happy from time to time, you seem to be consistently happy all the time. I don't see all the time, but, and you know, people I think are animated just by being with you and seeing how you feel.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. It hasn't always been like this, but the last maybe 10 years, I've become happy more consistently, which is a fact. It's this being happy at almost every moment. Of course I have downfalls and at times I'm sad and I don't even know why, but I have this ability now, thanks to different audios, books, movies, people, that even if I'm in a moment where I'm not happy, I can turn around quite quickly.
It's quite a talent. I mean, I think in a way, I mean, Happiness Project is all about trying to help other people achieve that same talent. I mean, how would you, let's say you wanted to teach people how to do that, how would you do it?
Many times I've been told, when I'm around you, I'm happy too, which makes me, of course, even more happy. But pretty much, there are some factors which I do consistently every day. Or maybe the turning point was when I changed my mindset. Once you change your mindset, it's much easier to stay happy because you have a different philosophy. And I have some beliefs which help me. For example, being grateful, gratitude. Being grateful for every single thing, even the ones you take for granted. Or seeing the good in everything. Even when you might not like the situation, you will start taking out the positive parts. And immediately you will notice when you start seeing only the good, more of the good will turn up. And it's like you're on a different frequency. If you have a radio and you start turning the frequency, once you get on the good one, then you're really on it. You're on zinc, you're on the wave. That's why many times I say ride on the wave of happiness. Once you're on, stay on it and keep on looking for the good things. Instead of spiraling downwards, which can also happen if you get on the wrong frequency, you can spiral upwards.
That's interesting. You mentioned that there's a turning point when you were, well, you mentioned to me earlier that when you were 12 there was a turning point.
When I was 12, that was in year 8, I watched a movie called The Secret. Many of you have probably heard of it, some are for it, some are against it. But for me, that movie, when I was 12 years old, was completely understandable, reasonable, and it was pretty much the solution. I saw this movie, I believed it, because when you're 12 and your mom says, it's true, you will say, okay, it's true. And I applied it. And from then on, my whole life, not maybe turned around, because I was already I was happy, it just got better. And I became more aware. And once you're aware, you can change things. If you're not aware of the problem, you can't solve it. But once you know where the point is, then you can make a difference.
Do you feel there's been a sequence since that point?
In life, improving?
Well, in your happiness, your levels of happiness.
Yes, for sure.
You're built on that particular. I mean, perhaps first you want to say what you took from The Secret.
From The Secret, I got out the points of positivity, of being positive, of the sentence "thoughts become things," and really, I use this word a lot: omnipotence. It might sound dominating or dictating, but really what it's trying to say is that each being is almighty. We have the power in our hands to shape our life as we want. That gives you a real sense of liberty once you accept the fact that also parts that haven't gone well in your life and things that aren't going as you'd like, they're also your responsibility and you can change them. So that might be hard to accept that, oh, this car crash was my fault, or that my relationship didn't go well was partly also my fault. But once you accept it and you start working with yourself, then everything just falls into place. It's amazing. It's like this going on the wave. Once you're on the wave and everything's in sync, it only gets better. And through The Secret, it showed me, be positive all times, even when things aren't going as you want. You are responsible to make the change, and you can change your life with your thoughts. And also, again, gratitude, seeing the good in everything, giving thanks for the things that you see or take as given, and sharing that with the world. Maybe not speaking as much, but with your example, you will lead other people on to the same philosophy, which has happened. People always ask me, well, why are you so happy right now? And I say, well, look at it, it's beautiful, life is awesome. And they ask me how I did it, and I lead them on to the movie. So that's my way of doing it.
Do you think everything actually is in the movie you need? Or do you think you've got a lot of other stuff from other areas
Absolutely. It depends also on the person, of how they started out when they watched the movie. When I watched the movie, I was 12, but already my mother was always very spiritual, very open-minded, and I grew up on a base of some good morals, I'd say, good ethics of sharing is caring, and the more you give, the more you get. And in general, also, my mom is very happy and upbeat, so this is normal. What you see your parents do, you will do yourself. That helped a lot. But when I watched the movie, it just all increased, and I was able to understand it. I was aware, I was conscious. That's what really changed the movie, that I became aware that, wait a minute, when I say bad things to other people, what I'm really doing is throwing at myself.